Sometimes the outfits we reach for without thinking are the ones quietly working against us, and that's one of the most surprising shifts many women notice after 60. As we age, our undertones soften, our features settle, and colors that once felt gentle can suddenly make us look tired. Here's the secret. It's usually not your face losing brightness. It's certain colors and styles sitting too close to your skin tone or pulling your features downward. You know that moment when you glance in the mirror and wonder, why do I look drained today? Even though you slept well and feel fine inside. That moment isn't a sign of fading beauty. Something subtle happens when the shade near your face is too pale or when a neckline collapses more than it should. Your natural contrast disappears, and the outfit sends a message that doesn't match your energy at all. The goal is not to change who you are. The goal is simply to understand how 3 small combinations can instantly affect how awake, bright, and confident you look without doing anything extra. After 60, color behaves differently on our skin, and shapes behave differently on our frame. A neutral that once softened your look may now flatten it. A relaxed neckline that once felt comfortable can now pull the eye downward. These changes sneak up naturally, and most women don't realize how much they impact the face until someone points it out. But the moment you stop wearing these 3 combinations, something natural and immediate happens. Your features lift, your eyes look clearer, and your skin looks more alive without you even thinking about it. It feels like getting a little light back on your face, just from choosing pieces that work with you instead of against you. So in this video, we're going to walk through 3 specific pairs: color 1 and style 1, color 2 and style 2, and color 3 and style 3, and why each one affects your appearance more than you might expect. Before we continue, I'm really glad you're here. If you enjoy warm, simple style guidance made for women over 60, go ahead and like this video and subscribe so you don't miss anything new. Now let's move gently into the first combination and talk about what might be dimming your glow without you realizing it. Color 1 and style 1, faded neutrals with weak necklines. Faded neutrals are one of the most quietly aging colors for women after 60 because they sit almost exactly on top of the undertones our skin naturally shifts toward. As we age, something subtle happens. Our complexion loses a bit of depth, the warmth softens, and the natural highlights on the cheeks aren't as strong as they used to be. When a pale beige, washed oatmeal, or soft stone top sits right under the face, the color blends into the skin so closely that the eye can't find clear boundaries. Here's the secret. Your features look their brightest when there's at least a little separation between your skin tone and your clothing. Without that separation, your cheeks look duller, your jawline looks less defined, and your eyes lose that natural spark you still carry. It's not that your glow is gone, it's that the color is too close to your skin for the light to catch you properly. You may notice this when you put on a faded neutral you loved 10 years ago and suddenly feel like something is off, even though you can't explain what changed. The color didn't change. Your undertones did. The goal is not to avoid neutrals completely. The goal is to avoid the neutrals that sit too close to your skin. When a color is only half a shade deeper than your complexion, something instantly improves. Your face looks lifted, your features look clearer, and the soft shadows around your eyes look gentler. A tiny shift makes a big difference because it allows the eye to recognize where your face ends and your clothing begins. Without thinking about it, that small contrast brings your natural radiance forward again. You don't need bright colors or harsh tones, you just need neutrals with a touch more depth or warmth. Even holding the fabric near your face in natural light can show you the difference. If the fabric and your skin melt together into one block of color, the neutral is too faded. If your face lifts away from the fabric, even slightly, that's the sign it supports you. Weak necklines make this effect twice as strong because they pull the face downward visually, especially after 60 when the neck and jawline naturally soften. A drooping neckline is one of the most underestimated aging elements in a woman's wardrobe because it silently drags the energy of your upper body lower. When the line under your chin falls even an inch too far, something subtle happens. The face seems longer, the jawline looks softer, and the whole posture appears more curved. A stretched scoop neck, a tired V-neck, or a wide, relaxed collar might feel cozy, but the collapsing line takes away the structure your face needs to look naturally lifted. It's not about hiding or fixing anything. It's simply how the eye reads direction. Downward lines pull the gaze downward. Upward or stable lines hold your features in place and gently lift them. Here's a simple guideline that helps instantly without overthinking. When you hold up a top, look at where the lowest point of the neckline falls. If it drops below the meeting point of your collarbones, that little center dip, it may be too low to support your features. Try lifting the neckline with your fingers while looking in a mirror. Most women are shocked at how naturally the face brightens when the neckline rises even half an inch. The eyes look clearer, the cheeks look warmer, and the jawline looks more defined, and none of this requires shapewear, makeup, or posture correction. It's simply the frame around the face doing its job again. Comfort is one of the most common reasons women choose faded neutrals and relaxed necklines. These pieces feel familiar, they don't demand attention, and they have a softness that feels comforting during everyday life. But comfort shouldn't make you look smaller or quieter than you are. After 60, your face carries your stories, your confidence, and your expression. You deserve clothing that supports that, not clothing that erases it. When a neutral has too little depth or a neckline has too little structure, your presence fades. When a neutral holds its color and a neckline holds its shape, your presence returns. It's a natural, effortless lift that feels like looking more awake, more alive, and more yourself again. Now we can move gently to the next combination. Color 2 and Style 2, harsh brights with boxy shapes. Harsh brights are one of the most surprising color traps for women after 60 because they feel bold, energetic, and confident in theory, but something subtle happens when they sit close to mature skin. Very strong shades like electric purple, sharp red, bright fuchsia, and icy cobalt carry so much intensity that they overpower the softness our features naturally take on with age. As we age, the undertones in our skin change. They become lighter, cooler, or more muted, and when a loud, saturated color sits right underneath the face, the contrast becomes too extreme. Instead of lifting your complexion, it casts shadows around the mouth, under the eyes, and along the nose, making you look more tired instantly even when you feel perfectly fine. Here's the secret. Mature skin needs colors with presence, yes, but not colors that shout. When the color takes over the frame, the face fades behind it, and you lose the gentle radiance that comes so naturally to women in their 60s and 70s. You may notice this most in harsh lighting or during daytime photos. A bright top that looked exciting in the mirror suddenly makes your face look more textured, more shadowed, or more uneven than it really is. That isn't your skin betraying you. It's the fabric reflecting too much intensity upward. This type of color behaves almost like a spotlight. It shows everything, even things you don't see in softer, more balanced tones. The goal is not to avoid strong colors forever. The goal is to understand how they behave on skin that has changed in tone and density. Even shifting one step down to a softened version of the same shade can instantly make your complexion look smoother and more open. But when the bright is too bright, the color becomes the main character and you become the background, and that's not how your presence deserves to be treated. Boxy shapes then add to the problem by completely erasing the natural shape of the body. After 60, our posture changes in subtle ways. Shoulders relax, midsections soften, hips shift, and when you put a square, rigid, shapeless top on that frame, it hides all the gentle lines that give you definition. A boxy cut doesn't just disguise the waist, it overwhelms the upper body entirely. The fabric sits straight down, creating a block that widens the shoulders and thickens the torso visually, even if you're smaller underneath. Something subtle happens when you wear a top that hangs with no curve at all. The whole look becomes heavier. The fabric pushes outward instead of following your frame, and the eye naturally reads your body as larger and less lifted. Even your face looks smaller in comparison because the garment takes up so much space. And again, none of this is a flaw in you. It's simply that the garment isn't shaped to meet you where you are now. You can test this easily in the mirror. Put on a boxy top and watch what happens to your proportions. Then gently pinch the fabric inward at the side of your waist. Not tight, just enough to follow your natural line. Most women gasp because the difference is instant. Your shoulders look straighter, your torso looks lighter, and your face looks more present. It's not the fabric that changes, it's the shape. Boxy shapes make the body disappear, but a small curve, even the suggestion of one, gives the body a sense of movement and life again. A top that has a gentle taper, a slight A-line, or even a seam that sits closer to the body instantly creates lift. This isn't about trying to look younger. It's about giving your natural structure room to be seen. Emotionally, harsh brights and boxy shapes feel safe to many women because they offer coverage, they feel fun, and they hide areas we're self-conscious about. Bold colors make us feel expressive, and boxy tops make us feel protected. But the truth is that this combination ends up hiding your natural elegance instead of highlighting it. When the color takes over and the shape takes up too much space, you disappear underneath. You look less like yourself, not because you're aging, but because the clothes are louder than your presence. And after 60, your presence is one of the most beautiful things about you. You've earned it. You've grown into it. Your clothes should support that, not drown it out. Here's the gentle guidance that works naturally without forcing you to change everything. When you pick up a bright top, hold it near your face and ask yourself if you feel lifted or overshadowed. If the color makes your skin look uneven or draws attention away from your eyes, it's too intense. And when you try on a top, watch how the fabric falls. If it drops straight down with no movement, consider whether a softer curve or a bit of shape might help your energy show through. You don't need fitted pieces. You just need pieces that follow your natural lines instead of hiding them. Now we can build quiet anticipation for the last combination, because the final pair works differently from the first two and explains a very common "why do I look dull today?" moment many women experience without realizing why. Color 3 and Style 3, Frosty Pastels with Busy Details. Frosty pastels are one of the most deceptive colors for women after 60 because they look soft and feminine on the hanger, but something subtle happens when they sit near mature skin. Shades like powder pink, baby blue, icy lavender, and pale mint carry a chalky undertone that naturally fights against the warmth and depth the face needs to stay bright. As we age, our skin loses a little of its natural richness, and when you place a chalky pastel right under your chin, it drains even more of that warmth instantly. Here's the secret: these pastels don't just lighten your complexion, they flatten it. They sit on the skin like a film of cool, pale light, making the cheeks look duller and the areas under the eyes look more shadowed. You may not notice it in the store mirror, but in natural daylight or in photos, these shades can make you look a little faded without you doing anything wrong. The goal is not to abandon soft colors, but simply to understand why these specific pale versions don't support the skin you have now. Something subtle happens when frosty pastels touch the neckline. They create a grayish cast, especially on women with silver hair or softened undertones. Even women who once looked stunning in pastel pinks or lavenders notice that after 60, these shades don't give warmth anymore. They take warmth away. It's not your skin losing beauty, it's the color demanding more brightness from you than your undertones can give back. The eye reads these icy shades as cool light, and when that light hits a mature complexion, it highlights every place where the skin has thinned or softened. It doesn't matter how much makeup you wear. The color itself creates the illusion of tiredness, even when you feel perfectly awake. Many women say they look washed out or pale in these colors, and that feeling is real. It's the color taking the energy instead of giving it. Busy details add to that effect by pulling attention away from your face in a way that feels chaotic rather than elegant. Tops with too many gathers, ruffles, pleats, sequins, appliques, or overly loud prints create a kind of visual noise. When the neckline is crowded or the chest is filled with decorations, the eye bounces around the top instead of resting naturally on your expression. Something subtle happens when the clothing carries more movement than your facial features. You look smaller in comparison, even if the details are pretty. The fabric becomes the main event, and your face becomes the background. And after 60, when our features soften, we need cleaner lines near the face, not busy ones. Too much detail crowds the frame and creates a kind of visual clutter that makes the face look less defined and less calm. Here's the secret to why busy tops feel so heavy on mature women. The eye can only focus on one story at a time. If the top is telling 5 different stories, ruffles, rhinestones, pleats, and patterns, the viewer's eye never settles on your face, and your presence gets quieter without you realizing it. You may feel the top expresses your personality, and that's beautiful, but the details can overpower your natural grace. The goal is not to remove personality from your wardrobe. The goal is simply to understand that detail sitting close to the face should support your expression, not compete with it. Even the sweetest ruffle or the prettiest sparkle can look too loud if it sits right against the neckline, especially when paired with a pastel that already dulls the complexion. Emotionally, frosty pastels and busy details often stay in a woman's closet for sentimental reasons. Maybe the colors remind you of pieces you wore in your 30s or 40s when pastels looked bright and youthful on your skin. Maybe the details make the top feel fun, feminine, or expressive. Or maybe someone you love once complimented you in that shade, and the memory has stayed warm even though the color no longer has the same effect. These reasons matter. Clothing holds emotion, history, and stories, and that's why these pieces are hard to let go of. But as we age, our relationship with color changes, and something that once made you look fresh may now gently drain the energy from your expression. It doesn't mean the piece is wrong. It simply means you've evolved, and your skin and coloring have changed in a way that deserves support. If you've ever put on a pastel top and felt instantly off, or worn a busy blouse and felt like your face wasn't the first thing people noticed, that's exactly what this combination does. It's not failing beauty, it's mismatched energy. When the top is louder than your presence or paler than your undertones, the harmony disappears. But when colors and details match the strength of your features now, you feel naturally brighter and more confident without effort. You look clearer, calmer, and more awake. And that shift feels like your clothing is finally on your side again. The moment you take these combinations out of your daily rotation, something subtle happens. Your face looks brighter instantly, as if someone quietly adjusted the lighting in your favor. Clearer colors and shapes that actually support your frame make you look refreshed without thinking about it, almost like your natural glow finally has room to breathe again. After 60, the goal is not to chase youth but to let your presence shine, and when the fabric near your face stops draining your energy or pulling your features downward, you naturally look more awake, more alive, and more like yourself. You start noticing that the mirror feels kinder, outfits feel easier, and people say things like "you look well today," and it's all coming from simple shifts you barely had to work for. Your style begins to reflect your energy again instead of your age, and that feeling is one of the most empowering parts of dressing well later in life. You deserve style that lifts you every day. These small changes create big results, not because they're dramatic, but because they finally let your features take the lead. When you remove the colors and shapes that blur your presence, your face becomes the focus again. Soft, warm, expressive, and full of the life you've earned. It's worth asking yourself which of the three combinations you might rethink first, because even letting go of just one can shift how you feel in your clothes. If this kind of warm, simple advice makes getting dressed feel easier, feel free to like this video, subscribe, and check the related videos waiting on your screen. Thank you for being here, and remember, you deserve to feel lifted, seen, and beautifully yourself every single day.